Thank you for tuning in again today. Today's going to be a fun video. We are going to do a 6.5 millimeter showdown. We are going to compare 7 6.5 millimeter cartridges against each other. In the end, I am going to pick the one I would prefer. If you like these cartridge comparisons or showdown videos, please like and subscribe. Let's go ahead and look at the 7 cartridges we are going to compare. We are going to look at the 6.5 300 Weatherby, the 26 Nosler, the 264 Winchester mag, the 6.5 PRC, the 6.5 Weatherby RPM, the 6.5 Creedmoor, and finally the 260 Remington. No doubt these are not all of the 6.5 cartridges, so I'm sure I missed one of your favorites. Please comment below on one that you would like me to review, but let's go ahead and get into it. Let's start with the fastest 6.5 factory offered cartridge. That is, of course, a Weatherby, the 6.5 300 Weatherby. Interestingly enough, Roy Weatherby, the founder of Weatherby, never made a factory offered 6.5 cartridge. In 2016, Weatherby wanted to get in on the 6.5 craze, and of course they wanted to make the statement of having the fastest 6.5 cartridge. So what they did was they took a 300 Weatherby case and necked it down to 6.5, and it is the fastest. Let's now look at some of the data for the 6.5 300 Weatherby Magnum. I'm going to be comparing 140 grain bullets with all these cartridges, and Weatherby claims that you can get 3,400 feet per second, which is pretty darn fast. That is out of a 26-inch barrel. Now for the next few categories, this is my personal opinion, so take it with a grain of salt. Efficiency, I kind of rank it from 10, so I give this a 4 out of 10. This cartridge is very much overboard. With how much powder is in that case, you should be getting faster velocities, but it is what it is. Ammo availability. This is for my specific area. You can find it, but it's not as easy to find as some of the others, but definitely not impossible to find either. Let's go ahead and look at the rifle cost. So the lowest you could find it for, which is like a Weatherby Vanguard, is around 500 bucks, so pretty good. Now let's look at the longevity of this rifle. Since it's a Weatherby, I'm giving it a 10 out of 10. It's also a pretty popular rifle. It's going to be here for a while. The felt recoil, now there is an asterisk next to it because when I looked this up, it was with a, I believe, a 9.5 pound rifle, which is pretty heavy. So if you're going for one of those backpack rifles, which it is offered in 6.5 300 Weatherby, expect it to have a bit more recoil because it's a lighter gun. It was produced in 2016. The parent case is the 300 Weatherby. And why did they make it? Well, Weatherby wanted the fastest 6.5 millimeter cartridge, and they did just that. Up next, we have the 26 Nosler. The 26 Nosler was produced in 2014 by Nosler. It is a burner of a cartridge. It's fast. Basically what Nosler did was they shortened a 300 Remington Ultra Magnum case and necked it down to 6.5 millimeter. And at the time, they produced the fastest factory 6.5 millimeter cartridge. Looking at the data with the 26 Nosler, with that 140 grain bullet, it is producing speeds of 3,300 feet per second. And that's with a 26-inch barrel. Now the case is a little bit smaller than a 300 Weatherby case or the 6.5 300 Weatherby case. So I give the efficiency a little bit better, but again, it's not very good. And it is overboard, just like the 6.5 300. Ammo availability. In my area, you can find it. And it's not too hard to find. It is expensive though. The rifle cost. The cheapest rifle I could find, and if you find something cheaper, great, leave a comment, but the cheapest one I could find was around $1,100, so you are going to pay a bit more for this rifle. As for longevity, again, this is my personal opinion, I could be totally off on this. I give it an 8 out of 10. The recoil, it's showing a little more than the Weatherby, but if you had the same weight rifle as the 6.5 300 Weatherby, the Weatherby would have more recoil, but that's recoil is around 23. Again, the year is produced as 2014. The parent case is the 300 Remington Ultra Magnum, and Nosler just wanted to make the fastest 26, so the fastest 6.5 cartridge. Now let's talk about the oldest 6.5 Magnum. That is, of course, the 264 Winchester Magnum. This cartridge was created in 1958. Its parent case is the 300 H&H Mag. It also shares the same case as the 338 Winchester Mag, the 7mm Rem Mag, a lot of popular belted Magnums. And for a long time, it was the fastest 6.5mm cartridge available. Let's now look at the data for the 264 Win Mag. That 140 grain bullet, you're going to get it 3,050 feet per second with a 26-inch barrel. Now, this is a pretty big case, belted case, and so again, the efficiency isn't very good. It's alright, so I'd give it a 5 out of 10. The ammo availability is plentiful. At least in my area, it's pretty easy to find. With the rifle cost though, this isn't the most popular rifle, and the cheapest one I can find was $1,000. As far as longevity goes, this has been around since 1958, but it's not the most popular rifle. But I do see it staying here for the long haul. Felt recoil, 19, so a decent amount. Again, the year is 1958, and the parent case is the 300 H&H Magnum. And so why did Winchester make this? Well, it was kind of part of their late 50s Magnum belted craze, and following the 300 H&H. In the late 50s, Magnums were the thing, and so that's why they did it. The 6.5 PRC. This cartridge was created in 2013, and honestly, it's basically a short Magnum. If you think of the 6.5 Creedmoor, this is its bigger version in a Magnum. The parent case is the 300 Ruger Compact Magnum, and it is gaining a lot of popularity lately. Looking at the data for the 6.5 PRC. So, with the 140 grain bullet, if hand loaded, you can get it up to 3,150 feet per second with a 26-inch barrel, which is really good. So much that I put the efficiency at an 8 out of 10. It's really good. Ammo availability. This is the biggest issue with this cartridge right now. At least in my area, it is extremely hard to find. Rifle costs. It's offered in a lot of different variations, and so you can get it pretty cheap. Longevity wise, I think this cartridge is going to be around for a long time. It's really good, and right now it's really popular, so I think it will be here for a while. But again, my personal opinion. Recoil. It does kick, but not like the Ultra Magnums. Again, the year was 2013 it came out, and that parent case is the 300 Ruger Compact Magnum. And so why did Hornady offer this? Well, they wanted a short length cartridge that could reach speeds over 3,100 feet per second for competitions. And basically, it's a Magnum version of the 6.5 Creedmoor. The 6.5 Weatherby RPM. This cartridge is a bit unique for Weatherby. It is their first cartridge without a belt. It also doesn't have the famous double radius shoulder. And so let's go ahead and see why Weatherby created it. Let's go ahead and look at the data for the 6.5 Weatherby RPM. With a 140 grain bullet, you can get this going almost 3,100 feet per second with a 24-inch barrel. So, performance-wise, it's right about the same as the 6.5 PRC. Efficiency, I'm going to put it about the same. Ammo availability, there's not a lot of it, but it seems to be there in my region. Rifle cost. This is kind of an issue for me. Only offered in Mark 5s right now. So maybe day down the line, they'll offer it in a Vanguard, but for now, it's going to be $1,200 or more. Longevity-wise, again, it's a Weatherby, so it's going to have a lot of support, and I think it's going to be around for a while. Recoil, well, about the same as the PRC. Big surprise. The year it came out was 2019. Its parent case is a lengthened 284 Winchester case. And so here's the big question. Why did Weatherby make a non-belted case with their non-Weatherby shoulder? So what they wanted to do was to make the ideal backpacking gun. So they wanted Magnum performance in a non-Magnum case. So what this case is, it's basically the same length as a 30-06 case. It is a little bit wider, and what that allows for is their actions to be in a 6-lug action instead of a 9-lug action in their Magnums, talking about Weatherby. And so what that does is make the rifle even lighter. So you're getting an extremely light rifle with Magnum performance. This is a sub 5-pound rifle, and that is the reason Weatherby created it. Now it's time to review the most popular 6.5mm cartridge available. This is also one of the most hyped cartridges in the last 20 or 30 years. Whether that's warranted or not, we are now going to review the 6.5 Creedmoor. Let's look at the data on the 6.5 Creedmoor. It shoots a 140 grain bullet, around 2750, which is pretty decent, with a 24-inch barrel, and it is extremely efficient cartridge, so I give it a 9 out of 10. And in my area, the ammo availability, well, let's just say I haven't seen this in the last 6 months, so it is extremely hard to find right now because I think it's really popular. Rifle cost, because of its popularity, it is available in all sorts of rifles, budget to really nice ones. Longevity, well, the Creedmoor is here to stay. It is one of the most popular bolt-action rifles in America right now. I don't see it going anywhere. Recoil, this is one of the big reasons why people love it. It is very mild recoil. The year it came out in 2007, the parent case is the 30 TC. And so why was the 6.5 Creedmoor made? Well, they made it as an efficient 1,000-yard match gun. And it did so well in that hunters started to love it for hunting as well. Let's look at the 260 Remington. This cartridge came out in 1997. The parent case is the 308 Winchester, and so it is a 308 case neck down to 264. So we will know that it is a very efficient cartridge, much like the 6.5 Creedmoor, and it actually gives very similar ballistics to the 6.5 Creedmoor. As I said, it has very similar ballistic performances as a 6.5 Creedmoor. It's shooting a 140 grain bullet, 2,700 feet per second with a 24-inch barrel. And as you know, the 308 case is extremely efficient, so I give it an 8 out of 10. And the ammo availability is everywhere, at least where I am. That's all I see is 260 Remington. For the rifles, you can get them at a good price, so yeah, it's pretty good. As far as longevity goes, just because the 6.5 Creedmoor is so popular, I'm not sure how long the 260 Remington will be here. I think it will, but it definitely has probably the worst odds. Felt recoil. It is a little bit lighter than the 6.5 Creedmoor. The year, as I said, was 1997, and that parent case is the 308 Winchester. So why did Remington start producing this? Well, it's an efficient 6.5 cartridge. It's just a nice little cartridge that performs pretty darn well. Now it's time for me to pick a winner. Now, if I was in the market for a 6.5 cartridge, my winner would be the 6.5 PRC. So let me explain a little bit of why I picked the 6.5 PRC. I already have an ultra velocity Magnum and a 300 Weatherby, so I don't need a 6.5 300 Weatherby or a 26 Nosler or a 264 Winchester. And the reason I didn't pick the slower cartridges is because, well, they're just a little bit slow for me. With a little bit more recoil, I can get 300 feet per second more. Now, it was really close having to choose between the 6.5 PRC and the 6.5 Weatherby RPM. But what it came down to is the 6.5 Weatherby RPM is only offered in a Mark V. So you're going to be paying well over $1,000 for that rifle. Me being a little more on the budget side of things, I chose the 6.5 PRC. And as I said before, all of these are really good cartridges. You can't go wrong with any of them. I hope you enjoyed the video. Have a great day.